Hi, this is Chris Shelton, and I'm the founding minister of Reach Out Christ Kingdom Rock Ministries in Piggott, Arkansas, and I'd like to welcome you to a Call to Honor. A Call to Honor is one of our outreaches where we interview people that have overcome obstacles or are out there trying to make a difference. One of the things, I spent 10 years working in Child Protective Services, and God put it on my heart that the state can help, but only God can heal. So I went to ministry school, we started Rock, and then God put it on my heart to start doing praise and prayer rallies. Our next praise and prayer rally, mark your calendars, is Saturday, November 23rd at 2 o'clock. It's going to be at the parking lot outside of Oasis Church in St. Francis, Arkansas. And we've been very fortunate. We've had our state reps out there and our state senator and our prosecuting attorney, and we're very grateful for Christian men in those positions that are willing to show their support for what they believe in. But what we do is we have praise groups come on out, and we'll do praise music, and we have different pastors from the area come on out, and they're going to do different prayers for America and for the families and for our military and the police officers and finances for this country. I don't know about you, but I'm thinking that we need some prayer opportunity right now for America. So mark your calendars for Saturday, November 23rd at 2 p.m. We'll look forward to seeing you at that. Right now I want to take a break to thank our sponsors. We appreciate them. And then we'll be right back.
With over 27 years practicing family dentistry, Dr. Brian Blacksher and his caring staff strive for excellence in everything we do. Services offered in the office include crowns, bridges, dentures, root canal therapy, implant placement, and Zoom 2 teeth whitening. Dr. Blacksher works to create a pain-free experience offering nitrous oxide gas and oral sedation dentistry. Your comfort is our greatest concern. Call 870-595-3463 to schedule your appointment.
Hi, welcome back. I'm here today, and we're at the Rector Public Library. They're friends of ours. They were very kind to have me do an early book signing with my book, It's Okay You're With My Father, a child abuse investigator's call to the church, and we appreciate them. And we're here today with a Rector High School graduate, Miss Ashley Williams. And Miss Williams, in addition to graduating from Rector here, she attends Arkansas State University, and she's also the 2013 Northeast Arkansas District Fair Queen. And I was very blessed working in Child Protective Services. I would have to come up to the school occasionally and interview children. That was a safe zone for us. And both of her parents worked at the school, so I got a chance to hear about her accomplishments growing up, and that was very nice. And I know there was an opportunity. She had to be on a mission trip, and I got to tell you, I think that's such an opportunity. I wish all of our young people today could go to a mission field and see how things are in another country, and I think they would come back changed. This is actually airing in October, but while we're filming this today, this is the Meet Me at the Flagpole Day, and very honored that thousands of young people around the country today are out there praying for their countries. And you know, people complain about what they're seeing with the youth today, but I'm very encouraged when I see young people that are out there trying to make a difference. And I'm very encouraged today to have Miss Williams here today. Thank you very much. God bless you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you know, like I say, I've had a chance to hear a lot of really great things about you growing up, and I know I was especially impressed when you went on the mission trip, and then God's giving you the platform with the Fair Queen, and you have a real heart for child hunger, and I'm going to turn it loose to you there, because one of the things I'd never known was that you'd actually been adopted, and so you've got quite a story. How about if I just let you share that now?
Okay. I was adopted when I was 6 years old. Originally, my adoptive parents only meant to babysit me, and they worked to get me into preschool. I had a severe speech problem, and I needed to be in preschool. That way I could hopefully get some of that fixed before I started kindergarten. So they worked on getting me into preschool and getting me that attention that I needed. And after keeping me for several months, they decided that, you know, this might be something that they would want to do long term. And my biological parents were very old, and they were very sickly. Both of them had since been put in the Piggott nursing home. And they called my parents and told them that they would like them to adopt me.
God bless your parents, and God bless your biological parents. I mean, they were trying to do the best thing for you. You know, in my book, one of the chapters I have on there is that there is a difference between poverty and abuse and neglect. And And we're very grateful for Christian families that can step out there and make a difference. There is a desperate need out there for Christian foster homes, actually. And, one of the nice things about a Christian home doing that is not only can they make a difference for a child, but they can make a huge difference for the family as well. Because, in a lot of cases, these people aren't bad people. They just come from hard situations, and they're desperate to be loved. But now, so obviously things went very well for you with the speech training, because you've had a chance. I know you've spoken a number of situations. Were all of you spoken already?
I've spoken at the Governor's Mansion in Little Rock. I speak at several Northeast Arkansas Food Bank events, and just anywhere around Jonesboro that wants to call and ask me to speak, I'll go.
Well, you know what, and I'm going to say we don't give out your personal phone number or anything here on the air, but if somebody wanted to have you speak, they can go ahead and contact our ministry, and I will help put them in touch with you. So if you want to contact Ashley Williams to have her speak at one of your civic organizations or churches about child hunger, that's her platform. Go ahead and you can check out our website, and that's www.call2honor.org, and that has the contact information, and I'll put you in touch with Ashley's manager, her mom, so that they can arrange for her to come on out and speak. Now, that's, and I got to tell you, and I like the fact that you're a Christian young lady. That is such a nice thing that we have, young people out there. And one of the things that I've been very blessed to be asked to be on a number of television programs now, and invariably the question I'm asked all the time is, it seems like the church is losing our young people. I mean, what can the church be doing to reach out to these young people today?
A lot of churches reach out to the college campus at ASU. I go to the Baptist Collegiate Ministries, and they reach out there. But we have had lessons over this, and I think a lot of it comes down to go to them. Don't expect them to come to you. Don't put the word out and expect them to walk into your church for the first time alone. Go reach out to them. Bring them with you. A lot of it is just nervousness about not wanting to go by yourself. And I think that has a lot to do with it.
Wow, that's a great insight. What I was thinking about when you were talking about that was when we did our first Call to Honor event. I mean, we were very fortunate to get a lot of support. We were on a couple of radio programs and television programs and newspapers, and we sent letters out and flyers, and invariably the people that showed up for the event were the ones that were actually invited by somebody and brought to the event. So really, I think that is one of the best things you can do. Is I know my own son had which I know you know my son.
Yes.
He graduated from Piggott, but you guys were both at the chess team. Your mom was involved in sponsoring the chess team. But I know he reached out to a lot of young people. And I think a lot of people today, I hear a lot of times from families, because I would tell them the church could be such a great source of support. But they would tell me, I don't have nice enough clothes to wear, or I'll be judged because of the tattoos, or whatever their problems with the law is. So that's an incredible opportunity if we reach out to people, not judging them, but like you said, actually inviting them and bringing them out and going to them. So I really like to hear that. Thank you. Now, I understand you got a chance to go to Haiti, and that's really impressive, because now you're just 20 now?
Yes.
And a junior at ASU? And I think, was that your senior trip? Instead of going off like to a lot of young people to go party somewhere, you wanted to go on a mission trip, didn't you?
I actually started saving up money my sophomore year of college. My church found out that they had the opportunity to go and asked how many people would be willing to spend a week in Haiti. And everyone turned out. Everyone wanted to do it. Everyone wanted to go. And so we started saving up money early, and it was really great.
Now, everybody knows about the news in Haiti. I know my own son, we'll talk about that a little bit later, but he was involved in a pretty bad accident. But his doctor was a former Army surgeon who went to Haiti, and he said it was like a combat zone. After he got back, he was telling me about that. So when you were down there, what did you find, though? I guess they would probably have you working with young people down there?
Yes, we worked with a church called His Way Ministry, and we worked with a specific preacher who had a school, a church, and an orphanage all on his property. He called all of the children his children, so if you were to ask him, he would say, "Oh, I have 40 children." And that's because he was counting the children who had been abandoned during all of these past storms and everything that has happened over this past year in Haiti, that a lot of children have been abandoned, and
Wow.
he took them in. They get free schooling, they get food, they get clothes, they have fresh water. And when we went out into the town, a lot of buildings are still torn down and broken. The floors are cracked. It's not a very pretty sight, but a lot of people are over there helping rebuild it. And I'm still in touch with some of the Haitian people through social media, and they say that houses are going up fast now and buildings are getting rebuilt, and downtown they're starting businesses back up. So I'm pretty excited to get to go back and see all the progress.
Now, when do you think you're going to be going back?
I have an opportunity to go back this summer, but I'm really trying to take my time and pray about it and make sure that that's where I'm supposed to be.
You know, I really like what you just said about taking the time to pray about where you're supposed to be. We were fortunate with our outreach ministry that my son and some of his friends were able to go down to Jamaica. But it was something that I spent time telling them with, you know, you guys, you got to go down there prayerfully. This is something you just don't go do. You got to do it prayerfully. But I know it made a huge impact in their lives, and they have a real heart for that. So I wish everybody, young person, could have a chance to go down to one of these countries and make a difference. I understand. I've actually been invited to go to Haiti myself this June, and we're in prayer about that ourselves. But one of the things they mentioned to me was they're wanting to bring water treatment equipment down there because the water situation is still a desperate need down there to have drinkable, clear water. So we're very fortunate here that we don't have those kind of problems here. And down there, just having clean water is a blessing.
Oh, yes.
Okay, now, I was just about to say now, we've talked about, of course, now at ASU, now you're studying to be...
Early childhood education.
Early childhood education. God bless you. You know, one of the things that I talk to a lot of young people, and, you know, one of the things they used to tell me a lot about a lot of therapists and things was that, you know, I'm sure they mean well, and I'm sure they've had the book learning, but, you know, they really haven't been there. I mean, they don't really know. But in your case, you know, somebody would say, you don't really know what you're kind of talking about. And you can kind of say, yeah, you probably still remember some of that, don't you? Well, God bless you. And like I say, I know God's got a big plan for your life. And about the food services, now, is there a particular food group you're involved in with your platform? Are you supporting the food bank or a specific church?
The Food Bank of Arkansas is very big, and I'm fully in support of that. I work a lot through the NEA Food Bank that's located in Jonesboro, and I get a lot of speaking opportunities through them.
So if somebody out there, if you have a real heart and you feel led right now and you want to help support the NEA Food Bank, give them a call and tell them you saw Ashley on TV and you want to help make a difference. Or if you're a church that wants to make a difference, you guys can look that up and you can make a difference. I got to tell you, there's incredible opportunity out there for the church today. You know, people are always having all kinds of problems out there, but you know, if the church will rise up, if everybody will do what they're supposed to do, every Christian, and do it in love. You know, don't do it in condemnation. You got to have the right attitude, but do it in love. And then what you do is after, you know, if every Christian will do what they're supposed to, and then if every church will do what they're supposed to, you know what? The government will come looking for us to help solve these problems instead of trying to keep the church out there. Ashley, is there anything you'd like to share before we go for a break here for our sponsors?
I would just like to say thank you for having me here.
Well, it's an honor
it's
to have
a
you
great
here.
opportunity to get word about the food bank and about mission trips.
You know, it's like I say, you're obviously a very attractive young lady, both inside and out, and God's giving you these platforms. He's going to use that for His message. So I'm very happy for you, and just God bless you. Before we take a break and go to our sponsors, I'm actually going to, I mentioned my son earlier. My son just graduated college himself. He's just a year ahead of Ashley. But he actually was coming home late from college, and he swerved to avoid a deer. He was working at the school, and he missed the deer, but he ended up in a ditch with his ear amputated, among other injuries. And his phone was thrown. It was late. He knew help wasn't coming. So he actually tied a shirt around his head from his gym bag and had to walk a pretty good distance for help. But it's, you know, when he was at the emergency room, he had to have 2 emergency procedures and a number of reconstruction surgeries. But he saw an angel while he was at that emergency procedure, and the angel told him, don't worry, this is going to be a testimony. And since then, there's been a nice article done on the Clay County Times-Democrat. We appreciate them. If you want to see it, you can go to our website, which is www.calltohonor.org, and click under videos. There's a link to that news article. There's also a link to him speaking at the Christian Television Network. Now, I actually wanted to finish this up by speaking to my son as well, because today we're kind of talking to young people that have overcome things and made a difference. But, you know, he actually just got offered a position in Kansas City he couldn't say no to, so I wasn't able to have him here today. But he was asked to be on the Christian Television Network, and I'd like to thank them and Evangelist Tony Workman, because they've given me permission to share the last 8.5 minutes of an interview they did with my son. So when we come back from our commercial break, we'll be going right to that interview with my son, so you get a chance to hear his testimony. Actually, they about had Brother Tony in tears, so you want to hang tight for that. You're not here by accident. And then we're actually going to end, we're very fortunate that his fingers and everything are intact, because he is a worship leader as well. And we're going to play about a minute of the last song he played here in the area before he left out to go back up to Kansas City. But one of the things I want to say is, you're not here by accident, and I know that there are people out there today that have big challenges. You know, maybe you're a young person that happened to be clicking through the channels, and you're dealing with a situation of abuse or some hardship at your home. I just want to tell you, you should not be abused. Let a school teacher know what's going on, or a police officer, and they're going to get somebody like I used to do to come out and talk to you at the school, and they're going to try to help you. If you're somebody that's dealing with issues, if you're a church that wants to make a difference, I'd like to encourage you to get a copy of my book. There's a chapter in here about helps urgent response teams, and that's something that churches can do to make a difference in their area. But what I want to do right now is I want to take a moment, and I just want to pray with you, because there might be somebody out there right now that's just desperately saying, God, I need to hear a word from you. You didn't come on here by accident. God loves you, and he's got a good plan for your life. And Father, I just want to hold everyone up out there right now that's dealing with issues where they need finances, or they need healing, or they need relationships restored, or they need direction. Father, they didn't get here by accident. We hold them up to you. If there's someone out there and you know you need to get right with Jesus Christ, I just want to let you know he loves you, and the Word says all you have to do is believe on him and you shall be saved. If you've done that, go ahead and find yourself a good local church that believes in the Bible, and go on out and see them. If you're in a hotel room and you need a Bible, those ones in there by the Gideons, they don't mind if you take those. It's okay to go ahead and take that. And if somehow you're even in a jail cell and you're hearing this, or you're out on parole or something, you know, the jails, we donate a lot of Bibles to the jails. They'll make sure that you get a Bible. Or the church you go to will make sure you get a Bible. Start reading that. And you know what? Don't feel like you can't go to church because you weren't raised in one, or maybe you have tattoos or a criminal record. There's a church out there that's going to make a church home for you. And you don't get saved by a church, but you know what? That's a good place where you can be strengthened and learn things and learn, because God does have a good plan for you. I'd just like to say that please, if you like what we're doing here, go to our sponsors and let them know you appreciate what they're doing, that you saw them on YHC TV. If you'd like to be a sponsor, give me a call. You can reach me through my website, or my cell phone number is 870-565-2784. And we can hook you up with YHC TV, and they'll come on out and do a professional 30-second TV spot for you. If you'd like to just make a donation to the ministry work, our address is P.O. Box 111, Piggott, Arkansas, 72454. Or you can go to our website again, calltohonor.org, where you can make a secure donation online. Again, you weren't here by accident. We're going to take a break, but when you come back, hang tight to see my son's testimony. God bless you.
Hello, I'm Pastor Trent Grimes, and I'd like to invite you to one of our services at the Oasis Church here in St. Francis, Arkansas. Our service times are Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and Wednesday night at 7 p.m. We have a wonderful children's ministry where your children will learn and enjoy what God has done for them. We are located at 186 North Church Street in St. Francis, Arkansas. You can check us out on Facebook for upcoming events, and we look forward to having you here at the Oasis Church.
My family's trusted Farm Bureau Insurance to protect our assets for as long as I can remember. I'm proud now to be a part of a company that I grew up with. Farm Bureau has always provided products that protect your business and families. Now we have a full line of banking and estate planning for our members. We're also a preferred agent for Arkansas Blue Cross Blue Shield. Call one of the agents of the Farm Bureau family today to schedule an insurance review to establish your family's needs. I would love to share with you the confidence and peace of mind that Farm Bureau has afforded my family all these years. Hope to see you soon.
God, and it resounds in my testimony too. And you know, whenever I was in college, I was coming home late, and a deer jumped out in front of my vehicle, and I was 17 years old when this happened, so I didn't know what to do.
Going pretty fast.
I was doing 55, 60. I was doing the speed limit, but this road is just pitch black. We live in darn near the middle of nowhere. I was coming home, and just the roads weren't lit.
So you didn't even see the deer at all.
I didn't even see it, and I just split second reaction. I swerved and missed the deer, and I missed it, and then I was like, okay, I'm okay. And as I was coming back on the road, our roads, there's probably a 3 or 4 inch separation between the gravel shoulder and the blacktop. And what happened was it caught my tire, and literally like a tire machine, it just spun it off and just pulled it off the rim. And as it did that, my car just rolled on the driver's side on top of the driver's side ceiling, or the roof, and just slid down the road. And then it finally flipped back over on the side. But I just remember as soon as that tire blew out and I flipped, all I did was I just closed my eyes and I said, "Oh God!" I just cried out to God. It was like instant. My body just cried out to God, and I didn't even think about it. It was just like a reaction. But I got hit in the head really bad. It completely caved in the driver's side of my roof. And when I came to, I looked around. And there's just blood everywhere, And it just. I began to panic, honestly. That was my first reaction. I just began to, literally scream and just
thought
panic.
You were dying?
I was I thought I was dead, honestly. I really did. For a while, and then I began to, come to, and then my head just started hurting, so bad, because, that driver's side caved in on me. But my rearview mirror was hanging and just dangling in front of me, and I grabbed it, and I was trying to look at myself to see why I was hurting, and my ear was just completely gone. It was just gone.
Oh, wow.
And my head was hurting, really back here, so bad, and I felt it, and, all my hair was gone, too, and I was like, oh, God, what has happened, I was like, I'm going to die, I have such a bad head injury. But I was working at the hospital. I worked at a fitness center for a long time, and, one of the requirements was to be CPR and first aid certified to be there in case anybody had any issues, and I remembered I was like, I have to get pressure on this wound no matter how bad this is going to hurt to get this bleeding to stop, because there was just literally blood everywhere, and I've got there's one little scar right there, but I had a shard of glass in my arm and everything like that, and I was just bleeding everywhere, and I was panicking, and I finally came to, and I began to search, and all my stuff was scattered just down the road, but I found my gym bag. I didn't work out that night. I usually work out before I lock the gym, and I grabbed my shirt, and I literally just tied it around my head and just tied the sleeves together, and I went to go get my phone, and I had my phone in my shirt pocket, but when you kind of flip a vehicle, your phone's gone, and I don't think I ever found it, but I just began to look around. I was like, what am I going to do, And I looked off in the distance, and down the road there was a light. I just saw a light, just a telephone pole with a light on it, and there was a gas station down the road that had been closed for the night, because it was midnight when I was coming home. I was really late, and I just looked at it, and I was like, I guess I can either sit here and I can panic and I can die, or I can go to this house. And I was looking around, and as I was trying to get my stuff and go back, I stepped in the mud, and I lost one of my shoes too. And it came up to about my knee right there, and I fell in the mud, and I lost my shoe. And it's one of those events, where people say, could it get any worse? And it starts raining, kind of thing. That's what happened. I was like, could this event get any worse? And I lost my shoe,
Wow.
But I just began to walk, and, my soul's desire, I've been going to this church, and they've been doing a lot of contemporary worship, and it's just totally changed my life. And that's when I began, being first introduced to, Jesus culture and, Third Day and Chris Tomlin and things like that.
Yeah.
And I just began walking, and, for some reason, my soul just started praising God, through this whole, as I'm, limping without a shoe, you kind of, feel like you're walking not
kind of
level.
like Job did.
Yeah, I felt like in an instant everything was just changed, it was just gone, and I just began walking, and I was just like, how great is our God, and I just kept singing that song over and over as I just walked for a half a mile, and I just got to this station. I began beating on these doors, and honestly, I probably terrified some people, because I was covered in blood, and I probably had I was beating on doors, and there's probably blood hand marks all over these doors, and these people woke up and probably really, really freaked out. But an older couple answered the door, and they were really skeptical. You have a guy beating on your door at near midnight saying, "You've been in a car accident, please help me," I'd be a little skeptical too. But they eventually, called 911 for me, and they let me in, and I sat down, and I gave them the number to call my parents, and Dad just got there right away. But I remember going to the hospital, and this was one of those really awesome moments that God began to use throughout this. Was when I was in there, my head was completely scalped, and the doctor pulled my parents aside, and they were like, my hair follicles were so damaged, there's no way my hair would grow back. And this was like one of the first things that I can remember that God just began to just work through this event. Was my mom just stood up and said, "In the name of Jesus, my son's hair will grow back." And as you can see, my hair is just it's here today.
Amen.
That's a testament on its own right there. But the main thing was with my ear, that it was ripped off, and
Did they find your ear?
they didn't. No, they never found it actually. They said there was like the trauma surgeon couldn't do anything. He's like, I can attempt it, but there's people in another hospital there's specialists that can take care of it. And they called him, and they were like, we've got this guy here, and he was like, send him up here right away. It's just God's favor on me already. And they got me there, and this is like the most profound thing about it. Was I was sitting there, and they were working on my ear, and my mom and my dad were sitting to my left, and they were they were just sitting there, and they were being like awesome and just keeping their cool for for my sake. But I saw angels standing behind them.
Oh, wow.
And when I saw them, they were just beings of just pure light. They had the shape of a human being, but they were just pure light, like a reverse silhouette's what I tell people, to give them the illustration. And I saw a hand like on my shoulder, and I saw one lean down, and he said, "It's going to be okay. This is going to be your testimony. Like, this is going to be your testimony." And throughout everything, there's been so many events that just been able to God that can move, and I could go on and on and on about that. But one of my main things is this Bible that I have is my absolute favorite Bible in the world. My parents bought this for me when I graduated high school as a present, and it was in my rec with me. It was on my dashboard.
Wow.
And when my dad brought it to me, it was covered with mud and blood, and it had like pieces of glass on it. And I just began to cry when I saw it, because I was like, this thing is precious to me. I love this. I've ministered to people with this. This has been with me through everything. And my dad looked at it, and he was like, "I'm going to take care of it." And he didn't tell me he was going to do it, but he literally took and cleaned the cover off and rubbed oil into it. And he went through every one of these Bible pages. And Bible pages are just incredibly thin and delicate. And he began to clean it off and take care of it. And what he told me was that it had his son's blood on it, and it was precious to him. And this Bible today, it still has my blood stains on the pages and things, but that's the same way that God views us, honestly. He'll come to us, and he can't change you overnight, but he works with you delicately and through you, and he begins to clean you off page by page, and he will not let you be thrown away, because Jesus' blood is on you, and God says, that is precious to me, and you will not be thrown out for that,
Well, amen.
And it's just an amazing testimony.
Wow, that's powerful.
Lord, I worship your holy name. Sing the chorus just a minute. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul. Worship your holy name. Sing like never before. Oh, my soul, I worship your holy name.
Well, welcome back. That's the show for today. We appreciate you being here. Just want to say again, God bless you, and look for us again on YHC TV. God bless you.